What's up guys, David here, and in this quick video I'm going to show you how to SIM unlock the iPhone 7. It's worth noting that this method also works for the iPhone 7 Plus and pretty much any other iPhone out there. So the first thing you're going to want to do is turn off Find My iPhone, which you can do by going into the settings, then iCloud, then Find My iPhone, and then flip the switch to the off position. Once you've done that, go back to the home screen and open up the dialer and dial *#06# to bring up your iPhone's IMEI number. Write this number down and make sure that you get it right, as you're gonna need it later. The next step is to get the unique unlock code that your phone needs from an unlocking service. And soon enough, you'll get an email that looks something like this, telling you that your iPhone 7 has been unlocked. And from here, all you have to do is enter in an unaccepted SIM card. So basically, any SIM card that isn't from the carrier your phone is locked to. So in my case, since the phone is locked to AT&T, I'll enter in a T-Mobile SIM card, and then all you have to do is connect the phone to Wi-Fi. And that's it, your iPhone will be officially unlocked.
Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zolotech, and we're going to take a look at the Lifeproof free case for the iPhone 6. This comes in at about $79.99 and is supposed to be waterproof like their previous cases, and we'll test all of that out in a little bit. But let's open it up. It's sealed. I just started to peel it here. Open it up and take a look inside. Now, they do make this for the iPhone 6 Plus, and there will be a different version coming out later without a screen protector on the front, similar to their previous cases. So these come in multiple colors as well. This is obviously the black color, but they do come in a couple different colors. So you've got the case here, front and back. There's a couple instructions here. It's showing you wiping everything off, pushing it down, and snapping all the covers shut. You also get this little microfiber cloth. And then it says program Touch ID per manufacturer instructions before installing the case. So they just want you to know that. And here's the instructions. And we've also got this little cable for an audio adapter as well. And this is similar to their other cases also. So we'll set that aside. And the first thing you usually have to do is water test this case. So let's double check that. They normally want you to test it for about a half hour or so. So you can see you can check the O-ring and the seal. You make sure it's all set and the charge ports are all closed, free of dust. And then they want you to take this, put it underwater for about 30 minutes. So let's try that. So first, let's take a look at the case. We'll take this piece out. So we've got all sorts of covers here. This goes over the Touch ID section. And then on the back here, piece is in there pretty tight, but this comes out. So this is very similar to their previous cases. And then on the back, it says, before exposing your device to water, it's important to make sure you water test your case. So you can see the seal looks like it's intact, looks okay, it's there. And we want to take this and snap it together. All the way around, and you can see it looks like it's a little bent, so it may want to rely on the iPhone 6 for some rigidity, but it's all snapped here. And then on the bottom you can see there's a couple different things. So we have a port here that we snap shut. We also have a microphone or headphone jack rather port, and Unlike previous versions, they've actually made it so it stays attached, and that's a newer feature from the newer cases. And everything's sealed, so even the speaker ports, the microphone, everything is sealed. Let's expose this to water, and you can see this here. We'll test it for 30 minutes underwater, and then what we'll do is we'll come back, make sure there's no water in here, put our iPhone in here, and then water test that as well. Now that we have some water, we'll take the case, place it in the water, put a cup on top of it, and come back in 30 minutes and see if it has any leaks. I've just taken the Lifeproof case out of the water, and you can see there's a little bit of water left on it, but we want to see if there's any water inside. So let's open this port up, and we need to pop the side apart. So I let it sit in there for at least a half hour, and I just used the end of a lightning cable. You can use a coin, whatever you want. Just work your hand around, and it looks like no, there's no water inside, so we should be good there. It's safe to use, and we'll put our iPhone in it. Now that we've tested the case, let's clean the inside with the little microfiber cloth. Our screen will butt up right against this. I've got my iPhone 6. Clean that screen off a little bit. And then we just want to put it into place inside here. We'll just work it in here. Push down. Should fit in nice and snug. And then we want to work the back around as well. So we'll put this down. Now it fits on very tight, and there we go, fits on very tight, and you can see it does allow access to the different ports. You can see you can get to your lightning cable here, and it just slides into place like so, and it's made to fit right in like that. Now when you're not using it, you just close this little flap, it locks into place, and keeps everything nice and tight and waterproof. You can see there's the Touch ID. And if I just hold my thumb down here, it unlocked the phone, lock, and you'll see if I try and unlock, it won't work there. But again, I can use my thumb, so that works great. On the side, we have our volume up and down rocker. They're a little bit stiff, but that's part of the way this case works. Then you have your vibrate switch, and it tends to work opposite. A lot of people ask me this question, but if you pull down, it kind of flips it up, or if you push up, it flips it down. So that's one thing a lot of people don't realize. You do have access to your forward-facing camera and everything else. And then on this side, you've got your power button. On the top, nothing at all. And that's about it. Now, if you want to listen to music, you'll need to remove the headphone jack here. So we unscrew this little seal. And in order to use headphones, you really need to use the adapter that it comes with. So you screw this in, it becomes waterproof, and now it's waterproof, and you can plug in your headphones of choice. Without it, you're probably not going to be able to use many different headphones. It's just really deep in there, and it's too narrow for most headphones, so you really need to use that adapter. You do have access to the speakers, and it does muffle it slightly. People can hear you, but sometimes you do have to speak a little bit louder, and you will hear a little bit of muffling as well. Now that we've taken a look at the case, let's make sure it's sealed again, and we'll take a look at how it does underwater. You can see my iPhone is underwater. Let me grab it here. And the touchscreen does actually work a little bit. And I don't know if this is an improvement they used, but you can see it does work slightly. If I double tap the home button, everything works. Let me go into an app here. Let me go into the camera. So the touchscreen is working underwater. So I don't know if they've done something that improves this, but I can take a photo. I just have to push a little bit harder, and it seems to work okay. So that's pretty impressive. Before it didn't work. I can use this with a little bit of effort underwater. You can see I'm opening up a stream. I could probably, let's see if I can go to Zollotech. It's a little bit tricky. So you'll see it fully works underwater. I'm surfing the web underwater. It's a little bit slow. I don't have a great signal in here, but it is actually working. I took it off Wi-Fi. You can see I can surf my site. I do have to push kind of hard to get this to work, but it's pretty neat that it's actually working underwater. So that's an improvement over the previous years, and everything's nice and waterproof. It holds out pretty well. If you're walking along with your phone and you just happen to drop it into water, it should be fine. You can just pick it up and start using it again. I've just taken the case out of the water, popped it apart, and you can see there's a little bit of water spray, and that's when you pop these apart, it sprays around the edge. This does hold a little bit of water in this edge here, and it will get to your phone when you open it up, but nothing to be concerned about. There's no water in the ports or anything, nothing here that you can see. I actually have a skin on the back as well, although I wouldn't recommend that if you're going to use this as your everyday case. It just adds a little bit of thickness to your phone and makes the case fit a little bit tighter. But overall, the case made everything hold up really well. In fact, Lifeproof says this is good for 6.6 feet for up to an hour, and also should sustain a 6.6 foot drop. So it's not terribly drop proof if you were going to throw it, but for most people it should do the job. I can't imagine though if it hits directly on this screen that it's going to be able to withstand an impact, since this really doesn't do anything other than prevent it from getting wet. Now when you push on this screen, there is a little bit of an issue when you're touching the display. There's some sensitivity issues, and it's not quite as good as you would hope. But it's about the same as the previous versions of the cases. You do have a slight gap, and you can feel that, but that's what little you sacrifice for keeping your phone waterproof and life-proof. It also prevents dust and dirt and everything like that. But overall, it's a pretty good case. They are going to come out with a nude version, which leaves the front exposed, which should be great too for those that like that. And it's been pretty good overall. Some people do complain of muffled music. I find that it's not as bad as the previous versions of the case. It does muffle the music slightly, but overall it sounds okay to me. It may not to others, but for me it sounded great. Voices generally sound slightly muffled with these cases, and it's a little bit more difficult to hear, but that's because you have a barrier up against the speaker and the microphone on the bottom that keep it from getting water in there. So it's a slight sacrifice, but for the most part the phone is great. It really doesn't make it unusable or anything. In fact, it gives you that waterproof ability, and you can take pictures underwater and things like that. So it's really a very nice case, and I can't wait until they come out with the other version as well. I'd love to hear what you think of Lifeproof in the comments below. They do have Lifeproof cases available for previous versions of iPhones and some other devices as well, and I'd like to know what you think. But again, this one is the Lifeproof free for iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. They make it if you want that one as well, and is about $80 or so. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you think. Like I said, as always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.